Good evening and welcome to the SRL Snowman Studios Motorsports Designs Cup Series. Tonight we are racing at the Darlington Speedway here in Darlington, South Carolina. Seems like we got about 27 drivers registered for this event, and we just finished qualifying, or just finished practice, excuse me, and then we're heading on to qualifying. Currently looking at Sam Brochu in that 98. Lots of cars are running throwback schemes for this race. So currently looking at Sam Brochu, who is very fast in practice, one of the fastest in practice, and he might be one to watch this entire race, because from what I've seen in practice, he's been pretty doggone fast. But that could be stated for pretty much any race. He's fast on almost any track. Scrapes the wall a little bit on his first lap. Looks like he's going to come to a stop to reset that car. Let's go to someone else. Trevor Huff in the 54. Looks like he did the exact same thing the moment I clicked on him. First car to set a time, the 60 of Zachary Trevino. As he gets a pretty good line through 1 and 2. Into 3 and 4. And if you know anything about Darlington, these corners are radically different. You can't take them the same both ends of the track. But Zachary Trevino doing a good job keeping it off the wall. And it looks like he will go to 6th on the board currently in first right now. Sean Rowe, as he taps the wall a little bit on corner exit, I believe. Currently on pole is that number 99 Exide car, thrown back to the very famous Jeff Burton Exide scheme. But it looks like he's going to stay on pole for the time being. Currently, Van Drummond in the Rusty Wallace throwback is out on tracks getting his tires warmed up. And Van Drummond, very strong qualifier at all types of tracks. Coming down the Boeing backstretch, looking pretty clean for a first lap. Hasn't hit anything just yet. And keeps it nice and tidy through 3 and 4. Might have had to check up a little bit on corner exit. But he goes straight to the top of the timing boards. Van Drummond on pole for right now with a 28.903. Let's see. Looking at the 33 of Sam Ford right now. Starting his flying lap right now, lap number 2. Cuts the corner a little bit, slides up. Will he try to cut it back down again? Looks like it, to try to stay off that wall as much as possible. Doing a good job through 1 and 2, but 3 and 4 is the tighter corner. And it looks like he's doing a pretty solid job of keeping that car off the wall. Looks like he got a little loose on corner exit. That might hurt his speed, as yeah, he definitely hit the brakes coming to the line. Not happy with that lap. Puts him 13th right now. Nicholas Martinez Jr. in the 48 doing his flying lap. Currently 11th on the board, but it looks like he may have messed it up and isn't going to try to finish that lap. And I believe everyone has qualified. So look at Andres Varas, who's currently in 23rd with a 29.617 or 526. Sorry, 29.526. My apologies. And that's the last of the cars that are doing anything on track right now, with about 20 seconds left. So it looks like this qualifying order is going to be pretty set in stone here at Darlington. 3, 2, 1. All right. Let's get your starting lineup going real quick. Just give me 1 second to get things set up for that. Okay. Starting in the inside of row number 1, on the pole, it's number 2 of Van Drummond. And then behind him is the 54 of Trevor Huff. Strong qualifying performance from him. Inside of row number 2, starting in third, is the 96 of James Thurston. And next to him is going to be the 99 of Sean Rowe, last season's champion. Inside of row number 3 is going to be the 77 of Tyler J. Curley. On his outside is number 17 of Dominic Barbagallo. Strong qualifying run from that 17 team. Inside of row number 4 is the 46 of Cole Denton. And on his outside is the 20 of James Bomar, looking for a good run. Inside of row number 5 is 72 of Jordan Herring, and Barrett Bohemus in the 79 on his outside. Rounding out the top 10 here at top 10 qualifiers here at Darlington. Inside of row number 6 is going to be the 48 of Nicholas Martinez Jr. On his outside is going to be the 00 of Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Inside of row number 7 is going to be the number 30 of Matthew Miles, starting in 13th. And on his outside is number 33 of Max Ford. Inside of row number 8 is the 23 of Quincy Strawhacker. On his outside is the number 60 of Zachary Trevino. Inside of row number 9 is going to be the 22 of Chris Downey. And on his outside is going to be the 92 of Adam Contreras, who had a very strong run at the All-Star race. Andretti Robinson on the inside of row number 10. On his outside is the number 28 of Joseph Lewis, rounding out your top 20 qualifiers. First car outside the top 20 in qualifying, number 55 of Austin Doran. On his outside is the number 84 of Gio Turpin. Inside of row number 12 is the number 24 of Andres Varas. On the outside of row number 12 is going to be the 13 of Connor Zola. Michael Deitch in the 57 is on the inside of row number 13. On his outside is the 98 of Sam Bruchu. Not an optimal qualifying attempt from that number 98. He's going to be looking for spots early on in this race. And the last driver, who I believe has not gridded, is the number 41 of Noah Larson in 27th spot. The only driver in row number 14. 27 drivers registered for this event, but we got 26 on track right now as, Noah Larson not on the track right now, so maybe he's just trying to get participation points. But it's going to be Van Drummond and Trevor Huff leading this field of 26 cars to 140 laps at this very tricky Darlington racetrack. Something to note that there will be no halftime cautions, but points will be awarded for positions at the halfway mark. Pace car is in, and we're about to go green here at Darlington, waiting for the green flag to drop. Out of turn 4. What a horrific camera angle this is. And green flag is out. About an equal start for both the 54 and the 2. Trevor Huff barely nudging ahead. Entering turns 1 and 2, Drummond going to cut the track just a little bit to try to run Huff up the track. Both cars very close to each other, but Trevor Huff clips the wall a little bit. Here comes Thurston making it 3 wide for the lead on lap 1 into turn 3. Thurston all the way on the apron. Huff backs out, and now Van Drummond to the point as Thurston actually loses a spot from Sean Rowe, and now Sean Rowe having a run on Trevor Huff, but decides not to make use of it. Here comes Tyler Curley in the 77 to the inside of Thurston, but he backs out of it. Mostly single file for the time being, as that's James Bomar trying to work on Dominic Barbagallo. Barbagallo blogging all the way to the bottom, and Bomar allowing to slip through, able to slip through. Barrett Bohemus was fighting with Max Ford for, I believe, 11th spot, but now Jonathan Jurgensmeyer under attack from the 00 of that's Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. I meant the 60 of Zachary Trevino, my apologies. But right now, mostly single file racing, as you would expect from here at Darlington. Van Drummond has now pulled out to about a 4/10 of a second lead, as we are already 4 laps in the running. Here comes James Thurston on the inside of Sean Rowe. Slight side-to-side contact, didn't hurt anybody. Sean Rowe has a little bit of a bobble up top. They're still side-by-side exiting the corner, and Thurston might be able to clear Sean Rowe, but Sean Rowe side drafts Thurston to keep him side-by-side. Thurston's going to have the preferred line entering turn 1, slides up right in front of Rowe. Is Rowe going to try the crossover? Yes, he will. Coming out of the corner, Thurston gets a little bit loose. This is going to be good for Sean Rowe's momentum. Entering turn 1, they're still side-by-side. Tyler Curley likes the look of this. He wants to follow whoever's the faster car, but Thurston able to power by on the high side, as Sean Rowe did not get that rotation through the center of the corner. So, good racing, nice clean racing throughout these first 5 laps. And in the back, in 7th right now, James Bomar, hungry to make up positions as he's working on Cole Den right now. Den with a little bit of a wiggle on the high side. Good car control not to overcorrect and hit the 20, but James Bomar is not making anyone's life easy right now, as he had to check up a lot, and that stacked up Barbagallo a little bit, who's under attack from Nicholas Martinez Jr. And now Jordan Herring makes a move. A daring move to the inside from that 72 on the 48. Can he make it stick? I think Martinez is going to have to run. Maybe a little bit of contact. Martinez in the wall, but Martinez does get clear of the 72. So Martinez able to hold 9th spot for the time being, as things have singled out once again. Drummond is out to about a half-second gap right now. And let's see right now how Sam Brochu is doing. Currently in 19th when he started, I believe 24th. So he's already up a few positions from the last restart, and he's clawing his way through this field. Quincy Strawhacker in the 23 did not make a lot of friends the last couple of races. Looking to repair his reputation, as he's currently running in the 14th spot down the back straight, as Barbagallo and Martinez duking it out for the 8th position, as that high side run is going to help Martinez out a lot more than it does Barbagallo. This track is notoriously tough to pass at because it's thin in the high side. You just get so much speed. As Martinez also clips the wall on exit a little bit. Might have been a little bit of netcode. Happens with these cars. Looks like not too much damage, as I'm not a big fan of this camera angle going behind the fence. But right behind all of this, Adam Contreras, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, and Jordan Herring all in a group, and that invites Strawhacker and Chris Downey into the mix. Adam Contreras looking to make his way through the field. He knows he's got speed, but there's just barely any passing opportunities. I think Jurgensmeyer either overshot the corner or tried to give Herring a shot, as we have a car going around in the back. That's a 55 of Austin Doran. Looks like he's able to save it and not hit anything. Good job by that 55 car to not bring out a caution. That's going to be tough for him, as he loses a ton of spots. But going back to the 92 of Adam Contreras, currently in the 12th position right now, has a little bit of a cushion in front of him and behind him, but he seems to be running that inside line a lot better than Jordan Herring can run that high side, and makes up a ton of time through the center of the corner. Big wiggle from the 00. But nice, clean, mostly clean racing that we're seeing right now, as I think something's happened with Max Ford, as he's dropped really far back from, I think he started it in the top 10 or so, or top 10, top 15, all the way back to last currently running in 26th. But now Adam Contreras making a move on Jordan Herring out of turn 4, able to get side by side, but that side draft able to keep Herring alongside Contreras. A little bit of a wiggle from that 72, but Contreras is going to have a great drive off the corner. A little bit of a slide from the 72. And now Herring might get eaten alive down the back straight. Lost a lot of momentum, but he's going to chuck it into 3 and 4, run that high side, and maybe try to build a run to clear that 00 and hold off a spot. And it looks like that might be working. He's not clear yet. Now he's clear. And now Jurgensmeyer has to contend with the 22 of Chris Downey on his outside. Jurgensmeyer running Downey up the track a little bit, trying to get him uncomfortable. But Downey, good job controlling his car. But now Sam Brochu working on Quincy Strawhacker, kind of boxed in right now as he gives a little bit of an accidental shot to the back of the 00. Not a lot of places for Brochu to go. He's got the 00 in front of him and the 23 right behind him. And then now Brochu cutting down to the inside of Jurgensmeyer, boxing him into a slower Chris Downey. Great move by Brochu to box in that 00, but did not get the center rotation that he needed to make that pass work. So he's going to have to settle right now, and he's actually going to have to defend from that 23 and soon the 45 of Andretti Robinson looking to the inside. Trying to get some action happening here. Lots of fighting for mid-pack positions. But these do pay good points, and some people need good point days. But it looks like things have simmered down for the time being. Let's go a little bit further up. As, Barrett Polhemus now side by side with Dominic Barbagallo for the 9th spot. Barbagallo looks like he might have not gotten a good exit out of 2. And now he's going to try to fight back on the high side. Going to get alongside Polhemus. And that just shows you how powerful that high side is if you can run it. But Polhemus with the slide job going to be able to get right in front of Barbagallo without too much difficulty. And that's the type of moves that you have to make here at Darlington. You have to really fling it into the corners and then park the bus and hope that the car behind you doesn't have the tire to cut it down. But now Adam Contreras working his way into the top 10, getting around that 17. I don't know if something is up with the 17, if he hit the wall too hard or something, or maybe his tires are starting to go. But he has been very slowly falling back. And Adam Contreras eager to crack the top 10. But further behind, Andretti Robinson, you saw a car going too wide back there. He is hungry to make up some spots. Maybe did not get the qualifying that he was looking for. But now Brochu to the outside of Jurgensmeyer in that 00. Side by side for 15th place. Brochu makes a move, and Andretti Robinson follows him through. I thought there was going to be some heavier contact, but it looks like Jurgensmeyer's car is just not handling well at all. He's going to get eaten alive here by Zachary Trevino and then Matthew Miles. As Trevino is going to... He's actually going to put up Jurgensmeyer going to put up a pretty good fight right here. But it looks like Jurgensmeyer is just falling back. Maybe he's saving his stuff really hard now that he sees that everyone's playing it pretty cool. Let's go further up through the field now. Andretti Robinson has really closed in on Sam Brochu. Only about a 10th separating the two. As maybe part of its draft, but I think Andretti Robinson has a bad fast car right now. Him and Sam Brochu both, so they might be a force to be reckoned with in the latter half of this race, especially if cautions get thrown into the mix. Checking in on Adam Contreras in that 92. Still behind the 17 right now, trying to figure out how to get around that 17 without cooking his tires too much. This is the prime opportunity as Barbagallo slaps the wall a little bit on corner exit. Perfect opportunity for Contreras to sling it in there and then park the bus right in front of the 17. Textbook Darlington pass, taking advantage of the other driver making a mistake, as it is just so easy to nab the wall, especially out of turn 4. That Saferberry just comes out to grab you. Andretti Robinson running really low when Brochu's running high, and he's right on his bumper right now. So will Andretti Robinson try to make a move into turn 1? Doesn't look like it. I think turns 3 and 4 is where Andretti Robinson feels a lot more comfortable. So he just tries to get a good run out of 2 to set up something down the backstretch. Just didn't get as good of a run as he wanted out of 2 right there, but he is very good at running that inside. And look how much ground he gains on the 98. Oh, they make a little bit of contact. Robinson backs off. Gentlemanly move from the 48 to allow him to back off as we have a car around on the bottom. I believe that is Tyler Curley. Yes, Tyler Curley has spun around very slow on track. Caution is out. Admin caution called by league owner Alex Schumacher because iRacing would not have called that caution. So let's get a replay going real quick on what happened right there. Currently looking at Tyler Curley coming out of turn 4 in slow motion. And it looks like, yeah, that car just got really upset on the transition. And he had too much wheel in it. Tries to save it. And does he hit the wall at all? He's getting awfully close. Wow, I think that he might have actually missed the wall. And then heads up driving to not overcorrect right in front of the field and bring it back down the track. Smart move and heads up driving from that 77. And honestly, a good save. I honestly want to play that back in real time. And let's get a chase cam on this because I want to see just how close that he got to the to that inside wall. Whoa, that's close. Hard to get much closer than that, and he spins it back down very safely. Very heads-up driving from that 77. Kudos to him, but I bet he's not very happy that the car went around. The good thing is that he didn't hit anybody and didn't get any damage. Maybe a little bit of a dent in his ego, but that can always be repaired. So Tyler Curley having to face early adversity early on. But that's all part of a stock car racing. As Van Drummond leading the field as everyone came down to pit road. Darlington is a notorious tire eater. And I will be right back in just 1 second. Quick little bathroom break from the commentator. I am back, and it looks like Van Drummond has chosen to be on the outside line for this restart. Big opportunity for Trevor Huff to maybe send it in and make a bombastic move on the inside line early on. It's very possible if he gets a good start. Top 5 right now, Van Drummond, Trevor Huff, Cole Denton, James Thurston, and James Bomar. Your top 5 right now. No people inside the top 10. Martinez and Quincy Strawhacker in the top 10. Pace car is in, and we're getting ready for the first restart of tonight's event on lap 27. Van Drummond's the control car. He's going to lead us back to the green flag. Green flag is out. And a great start from Van Drummond and Cole Denton as well. Denton might be able to make a pass on the 54 if everything pans out. Side-by-side racing for second place. Huff is not giving Denton an inch of room on the entry to that corner. Thurston goes all the way to the inside, 3 wide almost for the second spot. As let's get a better camera angle. That's way too close. But now Thurston looking to the inside of Trevor Huff as Van Drummond now pulling away into the sunset. He loves to see the cars behind him battling but Trevor Huff able to hold off James Thurston for the second spot. So everything is as usual, as we expected, but James Bomar has a very fast car, and he's looking to make some moves. Adam Contreras losing some positions to Sam Brochu and Dominic Barbagallo right now. But pretty orderly restart. Sean Rowe to the inside of James Bomar for the 5th position. Sean Rowe almost gets into the 20, but they keep it clean. And Bomar able to use that center corner speed to clear him in the corner, but Sean Rowe using the draft down the straight to pull alongside that 20 and maybe make something happen out of turn 4. Oh, big wiggle from the 20. That's going to kill his momentum, and now Sean Rowe has the run to the inside. Will he try to fling it in there? Almost, but he has to check up a lot not to wash up into that 20, and here comes Polhemus looking optimistic and trying to get something working. Oh, Sean Rowe thought he was clear, was not. Luckily, nothing came of it except a little bit of a wall tap from that 79, but now Polhemus is probably going to just pull right along by if he doesn't get loose. Big wiggle from the 23. The 23 is around. Sliding across the start-finish line, and it looks like no one hits him. So, very lucky that no one hit the 23 as he spun. Let's get a replay going on that just to see what happened right there. But very heads up officiating from our league owner to throw out the caution immediately. Currently looking at the 23 of Quincy Strawhacker, that black and yellow car right in front of Sam Brochu, and he didn't even get touched by the 98. He just got really loose on his own and then overcorrected and then just had to lock it up, sliding across the start-finish line. And I don't know who that is in front that zoomed by. I think that was a 60 of Zachary Trevino, who just barely made a by on the inside. So luckily, no one hits the 23, and it's just another single car spin. But this has been the Van Drummond show. He has been putting on a clinic so far. Granted, we're not even 40 laps in, but this might set the tone for tonight's event. As it's definitely looking like a race for second place. If Van Drummond keeps up this pace and doesn't have any bad luck affect him. Your current top 10 right now is Van Drummond, Trevor Huff, James Thurston, Cole Denton, James Bomar, Barrett Polhemus, Sean Rowe, Nicholas Martinez Jr. still in the top 10. Sam Brochu, and then Adam Contreras in the top 10. So Sam Brochu started pretty much last and has made his way all the way up to inside the top 10 and at ninth place. Yeah. It's a horrific color combination, but that says started in 26th and currently 9th. So very impressive from the 98, with only the 8 of 2 cautions to go from last to inside the top 10 in 35 laps here at a track that is really hard to pass at. But Van Drummond chooses the high side. Trevor Huff going to choose the inside. As Andres Varas has a black flag for, I believe, pit road speeding that he is serving right now. So hopefully he does not go a lap down. He would hate to see that. But pace car lights are off. We are going green flag racing next time by for lap 36 out of 140. Pace car is about to pull into pit lane, and Van Drummond's going to be the control car for the second restart of tonight's event. Can Trevor Huff get a better start than he did last time? We'll have to wait and see. Out of turn 4, waiting for the green flag. Green flag is out, and a great start by Trevor Huff. He pulls out ahead of Van Drummond coming into turn 1. Can Trevor Huff make something work? No. Drummond drives in just as hard and gets a great run on the outside, just able to clear the 54. And the 54 slots right in front of the 96. So, no matter how good a restart it is, it looks like Trevor Huff just cannot clear himself from Van Drummond. That's Sean Rowe in the 99 battling with the 20 of James Bomar. Bomar slaps the wall a little bit. This is for the 5th position. And Sean Rowe still eager to run that bottom, but it looks like that high side dominance is going to be in full effect. Polhemus gets around him. Now Brochu working to his outside. He scrapes the wall a little bit. But Polhemus and Brochu going to train Sean Rowe, and Martinez looking to join in on the fun right now. But Brochu going to be able to almost clear the 99 into turn 1. Clears him right now, and heads up move from the 99 to get there just in time from the 48. Might have cut him just in time. And whoa, something happened with James Bomar, as he was really slow. As we have a car spinning in the back. I don't know who that is. So let's get a replay going real quick to see what the heck happened and why we're under caution once again. Currently looking at the 17 of Dominic Barbagallo. It looks like he's making a pass on the 72 of Jordan Herring. And I think... oh no, Barbagallo just got loose. Maybe a little bit of help from the 72 and then overcorrects right into the 72. Jurgensmeyer also involved right down into Andretti Robinson, who is working through the field. I think might have been a little bit of netcode in Robinson's favor, but big hit to the outside wall for that 00. And yeah, just a big stack up that no one likes to see, with a huge Sunoco advertisement right in front. But I want to see what happened to James Bomar, because he was running pretty slow. Did he just get loose? Oh yeah, he just came in too hot, scraped the wall, and lost a couple of spots. He's lucky that the caution came out when it did, to not lose more spots. But it looks like for at least the time being, this next restart is going to be a single file restart. So if this goes green to the end, this is about 50 more minutes of racing here. So we still have a very long way to go, but it's looking like it's going to be a single file restart here. And that's definitely going to benefit Van Drummond, who just seems to be the car to beat tonight. As pace car lights are off, so we are going green next time by single file. And it's going to be Van Drummond leading the way for 25 cars. Is Max Ford even on track? Yeah, 25 cars on track right now. Ooh, lots of smoke from that 17 car. As I'm not too sure what he's doing with all that smoke, but let's say 24 cars on track as Dominic Barbagallo is smoking. But pace car is in, out of turn 4, single file restart, green flag is out, and Van Drummond off to a good start. A little bit of separation between him and the 54. But it looks like a very orderly restart right now. So we go back to James Bomar, who's currently in the process of battling with Barrett Polhemus, who dove to the inside. This is for the 5th position. Bomar going to have a great run on exit if he doesn't hit the wall. Nice run by that 20 to get around the 79 and hold him off. And a little bit of a wall tap from the 20, and that's going to kill his momentum through the corner. Polhemus closes right up to his bumper. Will he try to make a pass entering turn 3? It doesn't look like it, but he's definitely looking higher up than the 20. Here comes Polhemus on the outside of Bomar. Going to cut it down to try to get that run into turn 1, but it looks like that run stalls out fairly early, as Bomar able to hold off Polhemus right now. Let's see if there's anything happening further back in the field. Doesn't really look like it. Mostly single file racing here. As up front, James Thurston in 3rd right now, but he's under a little bit of pressure from Cole Denton, only 1.5 tenths behind that 96, and always looking to impress. Gio Turpin all over the back end of Joseph Lewis right now for the 16th spot, as Barrett Polhemus and James Bomar still battling for the 5th spot. Bomar with a good run on exit, but not able to clear himself of the 79 just yet. Both the 20 and the 79 send it in. The 20 sends it in a little bit harder, scrapes the wall, but ultimately gets the better drive through the corner. And now Sam Brochu looking to the inside of the 79. 79 had a little bit of a wiggle on corner exit, and that killed his momentum down the front stretch. Or not the back stretch, my apologies. And now Brochu looking to the inside. Polhemus getting a little bit of help from Sean Rowe in the forms of some encouraging bumps down the front stretch. With that, Polhemus clears the 98, and now the 98 slides in front of Sean Rowe. Maybe not too happy with what he did, as Polhemus is starting to lose sight of that 20 car, pulling out to about 4 tenths ahead of Polhemus. As right behind him, Sean Rowe trying to get around Sam Brochu, tapping bumpers down the front stretch. Will he try to make a move into turn 1? Doesn't look like it. Maybe he's trying to force Sam Brochu to overdrive the corner, or make some sort of mistake so he can slide on by. But very close racing here, nose to tail for most of the field. As now Sean Rowe looking to the inside of Brochu, but Brochu's going to have the drive off the corner. That attempt's going to materialize into nothing right now. Everyone using the line where you slide up into the middle of turns 1 and 2 for maximum exit speed. As now Brochu catching up to that 79 rather quickly. Polhemus seems to be good on the short run, but his pace kind of falls off as the runs go on here, as he might fall into the clutches of the 98 real soon. Further in the back, Tyler Curley making his way back through the field, as Sam Brochu has gotten within a tenth of Barrett Polhemus entering the corner. He is all over Polhemus as Sean Rose slaps the wall a little bit. A good corner exit from that 98, trying to trying to find a way around that 79, but the 79 is definitely making it difficult, especially taking away all the air. And in turn, taking downforce off the front end of that car, making it real tight. Tighter than it probably already is. But Brochu looking to the bottom, trying to use that clean air. Not going to be able to get to the inside of Pohemus just yet, as Tyler Curley trying to, pretty much in the same boat as Sam Brochu right now, just trying to find a way around the 22 of Chris Downey right in front of him. Nothing really happening in terms of passes being made. Like I said at the beginning of this race, this is a notoriously hard to pass track, but Chris Downey did not have a good corner there. Curley might be able to make something happen. Curley goes high, Downey goes low. Downey comes up to block. I don't think Curley was too happy about that. Maybe try to give the 22 a little bit of a shot. But ultimately, not much happening. But Sam Brochu within a tenth of Barrett Pohemus once again. As James Bomar is starting to slide back a little bit. He's starting to be caught by the 79 and the rest of the field. James Bomar's last lap was a 29.940. Barrett Pohemus' last lap was a 29.886. One of the fastest cars on track right now. I believe he's in the top 3. At least in that last lap, as Pohemus is doing a lot right now, but without a lot of position returns. He's currently 3.4 seconds back from the leader. Let's go to Martinez in the 48. Nicholas Martinez Jr. currently running in 9th. A good day for him, but as I say, that Sam Brochu peeks to the inside of Pohemus. Will he be able to make anything happen? No, he has to back out of it to avoid sliding up into the 79. Very gentlemanly driving from that 78, not to make contact, even if it means that he has to give up on a passing opportunity for the time being. But we still have a long race to go. If this goes to green, my timer is telling me we still have 42 minutes. So that's a lot of time for pit strategy and such to occur. But right now, I mean, it has just been the Van Drummond show. He is putting belt to everyone right now. Currently a second ahead of Trevor Huff. And almost 2 seconds ahead of third place James Thurston. As I think the field is just trying to wind down laps, but Bomar has lost a lot of ground to Cole Denton. He's currently 0.7 of a second behind Cole Denton. And now facing pressure from the 79 and company right behind him. As I'm looking at my timing board, and there's just not a lot happening in the passing department. There's people getting within 1/10 of a second entering the corners, but it's just it's so hard to pass, especially once the tires start to wear. This track, the racing line is so thin. It's 1.5 lanes wide, and unfortunately nobody has half a car. But Sean Rowe pulling up to the back end of Sam Brochu. Maybe Brochu burnt up his stuff a little bit trying to find a way around that 79. And Sean Rowe might have just been biding his time, as he's starting to reel in that 79, or that 98, my apologies. And the 79 starting to pull away from the 98. Further back, Chris Downey still ahead of Tyler Curley, and trying to find a way around the 55 of Austin Doran in 11th. A big wiggle from that 22. Here comes Curley. Could not manifest a run. That was a golden opportunity if he if he could get to the inside of that 22, but it just did not happen. But the 22 checked up a little bit, and I thought Curley might have had the tire to pull it down, but it looks like that is not the case at this current moment. But something might happen here. Curley's running the bottom. Downey's running the top. Nope. Curley's still not able to get to the inside of that 22 car right now. Austin Doran having a pretty good handling car so far. Had an early slide and has made his way back up to 11th right now. But Barrett Pohemus and James Bomar going at it for the 5th spot. Looks like Pohemus not even gonna try to pass the 20, trying to push him a little bit to get him going again. Maybe you try to catch Cole Denton. As something happened with the 46. I think he might have gotten loose on exit, but he rejoined right in front of this entire pack. And he's side by side with Pohemus. And I think he's going to get trained by most of this pack. Side by side with Brocher right now. He might have overheated his tires, and that car is not handling well at all. Might be very, very loose after, I believe, he slid the tires. Since not much is happening at the moment, let's see if we can get a replay on that real quick. As I say that, and caution comes out, but yeah, it looks like Denton got a little bit sideways on corner exit. I have to see what the caution is for. As let's get a replay going for what brought out the caution. Don't really know what brought it out. Oh, no. Found it right here. Apologies for showing the iRacing UI. But Austin Doran, a little bit slow, gets a little bit of help from the 77 and goes around. Doesn't make contact with anything. And a nice recovery from that 55, but that is definitely not what he wanted. So back to 18th goes that number 55. Believe that he just had a slower corner than Curley expected, and that little itty bitty tap just sent him around. Give me 1 second. Apologies, just had to check something real quick. But everyone going into pit lane except for Sean Rowe. Maybe Sean Rowe's looking to lead a lap and then fall to the back. An interesting move from that 99. As now Van Drummond leading every single lap is not a possibility. Now that Sean Rowe has led a lap. And coming out of pit lane, Thurston, I believe, beat Trevor Huff off of pit road. Oh, it doesn't look like it. I think Trevor Huff just barely got ahead of Thurston. As Van Drummond is falling back, did he get a... Oh, no. Did Van Drummond get a penalty or something? I'm not seeing a black flag come up for that number 2 car, but he seems to be letting everyone by. Not sure what's causing that, but pace car lights are off, and Van Drummond suddenly slowed up. So I don't know if he got like a speeding penalty or something, but a very interesting turn of events now, as Van Drummond, who was initially leading, is now all the way in 15th at a track where it is really difficult to pass at. Just under halfway, Sean Rowe is going to be the control car for this. And he's on 40 lap older tires than the rest of the field. So maybe I think he's trying to do is I think he's trying to get good halfway points. For since there's no halfway caution, this race. Green flag is out, and a good start by that 99 car. Trevor Huff seemed to be caught sleeping a little bit, as Thurston almost able to clear that 54, but not able to get anything done, as Thurston's going to have a great run coming out of the corner, but still side by side with Trevor Huff. Here comes Bomar to the inside of Thurston. Brochu gets stuffed in the wall. Brochu in the wall again. Huff running the bottom as Pohemus gets punted. He's trying to keep it straight. Can he keep it straight? Oh, he gets hit by... Oh, no. He got hit by Andrade Robinson. We got a big stack him up on the front stretch. Cars are everywhere, as we will have to see what caused that. I think Pohemus got a not very helpful shot from somebody, and that's what initially sent him around, as he slid for about half the corner. So let's see what caused that. Okay, so coming into turn 3, Pohemus entering, and it looks like Martinez throws it in there. And oh yeah, Martinez comes up into Pohemus, gives him a little bit of a tap. Now Pohemus is trying to save the car, and not a lot of places for Tyler Curley to go. I think Curley just pushes him up the track just a smidge. Pohemus is still in the process of getting the car under him. And Andrade Robinson, nowhere to go. And Austin, and then I think Pohemus comes down into Austin Doran. Big hit for that 55. As he comes down, doesn't hit anybody, but I see Cole Den in the mix. Connor Zola got into that 46, and a big hit into the 55 for that 46 car. Not what he needed at all. See, it's a little bit of extra help from the 13. And in pit road for repairs is that 46. As I believe Andrade Robinson pulled that car behind the wall. And Sean Rowe pulls into pit lane now that he has gotten his halfway points. Going to be on essentially equivalent tires, since they've only ran about 1.5 laps on new tires. So Sean Rowe going to have to work his way from the back to the front. With that big stack up, Van Drummond has gone from 15th to 10th. So with the pace that he's been putting up, it is more than possible that he catches everyone else. Still very curious on what made him drop to 15th on that last restart. But currently, your top 5 is Trevor Huff, James Thurston, Sam Brochu, James Bomar, and Nicholas Martinez Jr. Your top 5. And then outside the top 5 is Tyler Curley, Chris Downey, Adam Contreras, Matthew Miles, and Van Drummond. Great performances from Martinez and Miles, respectively, who have made their way inside the top 10. So we have a little bit of confusion, as I believe it's supposed to be a single file restart. Yeah, it looks like we're having a single file restart. But Sam Brochu has worked his way all the way from last place and had an almost flawless race, besides hitting the wall a couple times, getting the good old Darlington stripe on that car. An almost flawless race to get from last to third. And he definitely has the pace, at least until Van Drummond catches up, to make more moves happen. Trevor Huff leads the field to the green flag as the pace car pulls into pit lane. Single file restart here at Darlington. 68 laps to go. Green flag is out, and a little bit of stack up on the restart as Trevor Huff gets going. And now Martinez looking to the inside of Bomar for the 5th spot. Bomar able to get a good drive on that high side, and now Martinez blocks Tyler Curley, trying to go underneath that 48, and Curley has to check up a lot. Downey in the wall down the front stretch a little, or down the back stretch, I apologize, a little bit, as Contreras sailed it into the corner, almost got into the 22, as Curley all over the back end of that 48, obviously not happy that he was blocked like that. But that's what it takes sometimes to defend 5th place. But further up front, James Thurston trying to reel in that 54. 0.3 of a second separating first and second, as James Bomar is currently in the 4th spot. Van Drummond right now has worked his way into 9th as he tries to make something happen on Adam Contreras. Contreras gives him a boatload of dirty air in turns 1 and 2, but Drummond just gets such a great drive off the corners that it doesn't even matter, as Tyler Curley is moving to the inside of Martinez Jr. for the 5th spot. Martinez having the high side. He's going to have the run off the corner, and it looks like Curley's going to have a good drive off the corner as well. Side by side entering turn 1. They're really close to each other. Curley has to check up a little bit, and Martinez able to use that center corner speed to get around the 77 once again and maintain his spot. But now Van Drummond looking to make a move. He's to the inside of Chris Downey in that 22. Will he be able to make a move on the inside, or will Chris Downey be able to hold him off? A little bit of a wiggle from that 22, but they are side by side down the front stretch. Drummond using the side draft to his advantage, and he's going to get really close to the 22, using all the track that he can. Maybe a little bit of contact with the 22. As they are still side by side, a little bit of more contact as Adam Contreras helps 22 down the backstretch, as Van Drummond trying his best to get around Chris Downey, while Chris Downey desperately wants to retain 7th spot, and he's still going to be alongside the 2 car, but I'd say the timer is ticking for the 22 to get past, as Drummond makes the move, scrapes the wall a little bit doing so, but he's able to get around Chris Downey after some quite fierce racing between the two, and now sets his sights on that 77 of Tyler Curley. But it begs the question that if this goes green, Van Drummond's using his tires a lot harder than the rest of the field, due to him actively pushing it to catch the cars in front of him. As Trevor Huff having internet issues from the lead, but it seems like everything is fine for the time being. Now Adam Contreras to the inside of Chris Downey, able to make the move work, and now Quincy Strahacker trying to follow Contreras through, not able to get around Downey, but Matthew Miles has an amazing run past Zachary Trevino, and has now caught up to this little 4-car battle for the 8th spot. But further up the field, the gap between Van Drummond and Tyler Curley has shrank to 0.2 of a second. See, the last lap was a 29.777 for Tyler Curley and a 29.6 for Van Drummond. So Van Drummond about a 10th faster a lap, and very slowly and methodically reeling in that 77 car. But if we don't have another caution, will Van Drummond have the tires to catch up to Trevor Huff, who for all we know might be saving his stuff? As that's Austin Doran in the 55 pulling out of pit lane. He is 1 lap down thanks to that damage that he received. As now Drummond moving to the inside of Curley. Curley lets off the gas and lets him by. No point in trying to fight a losing battle. A big wiggle from Van Drummond. That's not going to help his tires at all if he slides the car like that. And now Van Drummond setting his sights on Nicholas Martinez Jr. as we go further into the back. Matthew Miles trying to get something on that 23 of Quincy Strawhacker. Looks like nothing being made just yet, as here's Sean Rowe working his way through the field. He started all the way back, and he restarted all the way back in, I believe, 18th, and has now made it up to 13th. So maybe not as fast as Van Drummond is flying through the field, but he's definitely making moves as Strawhacker blocks Matthew Miles all the way halfway down the backstretch. Miles to the inside of the 23. Contact between the 23 and the 30. That's not gonna make Strawhacker too happy, as the 23 might have some toe damage from hitting the wall, but he just lost a ton of positions very quickly. I doubt Quincy Strawhacker is very happy with the 30, but he did block him halfway down the track for 11th place. So one could say self-inflicted damage right there. But now Van Drummond has caught the 48 of Nicholas Martinez Jr. with 54 laps to go. He's currently 2.6 seconds behind Trevor Huff, and he's running equal times to Trevor Huff. Last time from Trevor Huff was a 29.710. Last time from Van Drummond was a 29.719. And it looks like Nicholas Martinez is trying to give Van Drummond as much dirty air as possible to try and slow him up. Van Drummond doing a good job finding clean air, but Martinez is just putting his car everywhere where Van Drummond wants to be. Van Drummond's going to have a tough time getting around the 48 at this tight of a track, especially for a top 5 spot. Martinez wants and needs a good point stay to help him for the chase. And it's gonna be tough for Drummond to make something happen. As we have a caution out. I don't know exactly what happened, as that's Gio Turpin around. I was just about to change the camera angle to them since my timing board showed that him and Cole Denton were having a pretty good battle. So let's see what happened to these two. So, it looks like Turpin gets into the quarter panel of Cole Denton, and that just pitched Denton's already damaged car out sideways, and he just could not save it. Gets the 84 as well right in front of Joseph Lewis. Lewis taps the back end of the 46 just a little bit. I don't think he got much damage from it, but Turpin backwards across the line. Looks like not too much damage on any car from that accident. And this is exactly what Van Drummond needed, as everyone comes down pit lane right now. But like I said, this is what Van Drummond needed. He needed a caution to come out so the field would get bunched up. And let's see the tire strategy for the 2 car. All right, at least 2 tires. Does he only go for 2? No, he takes both sides. And Thurston wins the race off of pit road. Slow stop from Trevor Huff. A 14.6 from James Thurston and a 15 flat for Trevor Huff. So the pit crew did not deliver for Trevor Huff. Those crucial tenths of a second might have decided the race, as Thurston got a very good pit stop. As the only drivers to get a faster pit stop than James Thurston was Chris Downey. Yeah, Chris Downey and Nicholas Martinez Jr. were the only 2 cars to get faster than a 14.6. Everyone got 14.6 or slower. But now James Thurston is the control car, a spot that he loves to be in with 50 laps to go. If he can get a good start and clear himself of the 54, I tell you what, fans, it is going to be tough for anyone to get around that 96. And I mean, Van Drummond is in a pretty tough spot. He's boxed in behind Sam Brochu and Nicholas Martinez Jr., and he's got Tyler Curley on his inside and Adam Contreras right behind him. I mean, all of these drivers are very clean drivers, but they are also very fast, so they might try to make a move on Drummond, and this might allow the 96 to pull away. But pace car is in. We're about to go green flag racing here. Green flag is out. The whole field stacks up to try to push the leaders. And great start from Van Drummond to get set as Thurston gets loose. I don't know if it was netcode or something, but he scrapes the wall a little bit. That's going to kill the momentum at the outside line. Thurston hits the wall as caution is out, I believe, for Tyler Curley. I believe it was Tyler Curley. Let's see what happened real quick. But all I saw was Thurston getting loose, and maybe it was cold tires biting him. But let's see what brought out this caution. As we're looking at Tyler Curley right now, Chris Downey on his outside. Downey has a run. Comes down the track. Oh yeah, Downey came down as Curley came up a little bit, and it just sent Curley around. Trevino gets a piece of it as Bomar and Matthew Miles go for a little bit of an excursion. Big slide from that 30. A nice save as well. Not to hit the inside wall at speed. Let's get a replay on the 30 real quick. Yeah, Bomar comes down right in front of him. Good job on both Bomar and Matthew Miles to save the car and keep it straight and in one piece. But Trevor Huff is the leader, as I think James Thurston is in pit road. Yes, James Thurston is in pit road getting damage repair. So a tough turn of events for that 96. And I think that is the perfect turn of events for that 2 car, because he's been a lot faster than that 54, and he's going to be right behind him on the start. So it's going to be all up to how good of a restart Sam Brochu gets, because Brochu might be able to hold Drummond up, as both Drummond and Brochu choose the high side. Oh, I believe this is a single file restart. So it would be in Trevor Huff's best interest, in my opinion, to try and jump the start to get as much separation between the 54 and the 98 as possible. 21 cars still in this race. Last car on the track right now is Max Ford, 11 laps down. But 45 laps to go here at Darlington. And hopefully these last 45 will be caution free, because I would like to see that. Pace car is in. And let's see how Trevor Huff gets this restart done. Green flag is out. He goes early and gets a great start. Green. Able to pull ahead of everyone, as James Bomar already moves to the inside of Quincy Stryhacker for the 6th spot. As that might count as passing on the inside for the 6th, as he's being shown the black flag. Or not the 6th, for the 20. He's being shown the black flag for passing on the inside, but that got cleared. But Trevor Huff still in the lead, has about 0.2 of a second on Sam Brochu. But now I think for Van Drummond, the goal is not to push, but to save for at least a few laps, so he can use his tires to pass Brochu and Huff. But it looks like he just wants to go on the offensive as soon as possible, as he tries to get to the inside of Sam Brochu quickly, not able to make anything happen. And this is what Trevor Huff wants to see. He wants to see the 98 and the 2 duking it out, so he can build up a gap with a clean track. Now, Drummond looking to the inside of that 98. Brochu's going to get a good drive off the corner, but Drummond is so close to him. Pulling alongside into turn 1. Here comes Drummond, as a caution already comes out. As I believe it might have been for Nicholas Martinez Jr. going around. So let's get a replay of that real quick. Yep, he just got loose. Noses into the inside wall, and the caution comes out because of it. Not what Trevor Huff wanted to see, as he was building a half-second lead on Sam Brochu, and Brochu and Van Drummond were battling. But your top 5 at the time being is Trevor Huff, Sam Brochu, Sean Rowe, and Zachary Trevino. And the top 5 in that 60, you can see him right behind Sean Rowe. Top 10 is then James Bomar, Quincy Stryhacker, Matthew Miles, Jonathan Juergensmeyer made his way back in the top 10, and Joseph Lewis. We haven't talked about him a lot, but he has made his way into the top 10. I believe that we will be going green flag racing next time by. And it looks like it's going to be a double file restart. And interestingly enough, Trevor Huff chooses the inside line. Maybe he's thinking that since the temperatures are getting cooler, the bottom line will have more grip. He probably knows a lot more than I do, considering that he's 6,000 iRating and I'm only 4,000. Big difference in skill right there. But Trevor Huff, all day the leader has been choosing the outside line, and now he chooses the inside line. Interesting strategy with 38 laps to go here. And Van Drummond also chooses the inside line. So we will see how this pans out. Pace car is in, and it's going to be Trevor Huff on the inside leading the field of 21 cars to a green flag. 38 to go. Green flag is out. A good start from Trevor Huff. Better start than Sam Brochu. And now Van Drummond to the inside of Sam Brochu. Can Brochu hold on to second place? Sean Rowe's in the wall a little bit in the back, but they are side by side for second place. Drummond and Brochu, both drivers, want that position, but only one can have it. Brochu getting the drive off the corner. He's going to clear Van Drummond, and here comes Trevino with a big run down the front stretch. Will he be able to pull something on Van Drummond? Looks like he won't. He has to worry about James Bomar right behind him. Brochu in the wall a little bit. That's going to hurt his momentum coming out of the corner. Here comes Van Drummond down the backstretch. Not able to pull alongside the 98 just yet. Brochu gives Drummond a bumper full of dirty air. And still remaining single file here as Trevino looking very strong late in this run. As Van Drummond's getting very, very good center corner speed and able to just close the gap to Brochu in the center of the corner and maintain that exit speed. But it's one thing to catch up to someone. It's a whole other thing to pass them. And I bet for Trevor Huff, he just wants to save as much tire as possible for when Van Drummond gets around Sam Brochu, because Van Drummond is looking very, very hungry and very, very fast here in the second half of this race. 34 laps to go for Van Drummond to get around Brochu and Trevor Huff. Multiple cars in the wall in turn 3. As we'll go further back a little bit, Sean Rowe looking to the inside of the 23 of Quincy Stryhacker. Sean Rowe getting right behind that 23. Not able to get to the inside though. Side by side, as most of the field is single file. Matthew Miles having a very impressive 8th place run right now with all of these fast people like Aldon Contreras and Sean Rowe right behind him. But currently Trevor Huff has been showing up, and he has 0.7 of a second on second place. Sam Brocher right now. And I think Van Drummond is might be starting to lose some of his grip. But Adam Contreras looking to the inside of Matthew Miles, not able to make anything happen of it. But he's going to try to get that good draft, entering the corner to try and sling it into the inside. But it looks like nothing coming out of that just yet. 31 laps to go here at Darlington. And Sean Rowe looks pretty frustrated behind that 23 of Quincy Strawhacker. Strawhacker doing a good job of defending from last season's champion, but he scrapes the wall a little bit. Gonna block Sean Rowe. Sean Rowe gives him a bump, obviously not happy with the way the 23 is driving. Goes to the inside. Strawhacker blocks him to the bottom. Oh, Sean Rowe's definitely not happy with the 23. Gives him a little nudge to move him out of the way to show him, hey, I'm there. And now they are side by side, dooring each other down the front stretch. These two are going at it for 6th place coming into turn 1. Oh, Sean Rowe clears himself on the 23. Oh, that is not going to be popular. I don't know what happened to that. Maybe Sean Rowe was trying to door the 23 up the track, and he just didn't realize how close he was or how far ahead he was of the 23, so he just got hooked. But let's go to a replay and see what happened. Just reviewing the footage right now. Yeah, I honestly have no idea what caused that. Okay, so I'm going to start this from the chase cam, and so this is in turn 2 before the wreck. You can see Strawhacker cuts down right in front of Sean Rowe. Sean Rowe is obviously not happy about it. Looks to the inside, gives Strawhacker pretty much a punt. Puts him in the wall a little bit. Strawhacker's not happy about how he's being raced. Comes down, doors the 99, and they're just dooring down the entire front stretch. And I think Rowe tries to send it in, and Strawhacker was just there. And that sends the 99 around. Strawhacker obviously not happy with how he was being raced by Sean Rowe. And Sean Rowe not happy with how he was being held up by the 23. But that did more damage to him, as he probably has some toe damage and has to get that repaired. And he's going to fall down through the field. And look at this. James Thurston has stayed out. He's on 12-lap older tires in the rest of the field. And Van Drummond has jumped Trevor Huff. Okay, so James Thurston did not pit. Van Drummond, James Bomar, Adam Contreras, and Cole Denton all took 2 tires, about 9-second pit stops from the 2:20, 92, and 46. And the first car taking 4 tires was our race leader, Trevor Huff, in the 54. But it's going to be James Thurston leading the field to the green flag. This might be the strategy call of all time, since he's only on 13-lap old tires. He might not have abused them too much, as everyone else is on fresh tires. James Bomar to Adam Contreras all have 2 tires. 2 fresh tires, and then everyone behind Adam Contreras is on 4 fresh tires. Pace car is in. 26 laps to go. This is going to be definitely a decisive restart. Green flag is out, and a great start from Thurston, able to put the power down a lot better than Bomar and the rest of the field. Now, Bomar gets really loose, slides up in front of the entire field, collects Brochu, and that's about it. With how that car spun in front of the entire field, I would have thought that would have been a much more costly accident. But let's get a replay going real quick to see what exactly happened right there. So coming into turn 1, and it looks like, yeah, the 20 just got loose, got hit pretty hard by Cole Denton. So Denton definitely involved. But you see that the 98's nose is also pushed in. So definite damage on that 98 as Cole Denton, his car was already pretty banged up to begin with. So I doubt that he's going back down pit road. Max Ford comes flying in like a bat out of hell. Goodness me. He came flying in at full speed and nearly took out James Thurston. Had to take evasive action. So about that, just had to put my thoughts on another lease decision. But yeah, Van Drummond in second place right now. So let's go to standby for just 1 second, as I believe we're gonna have a single file restart here. So yeah, it looks like it's gonna be single file. So I think James Thurston, if he can hold on to it, might be able to hold off Van Drummond, because we saw how sketchy the car gets when one side of the tires is very hot and the other side is brand new, as in the case with James Bomar, who just overstepped it too much and the car just slid around on him. As we'll have to see also how Sam Brochu's damage affects his car, because the front end of that 98 is very pushed in. And Cole Denton also, if this strategy will work out for him, 22 laps to go, 22 laps for these tires to prove themselves. Pace car is in. And it's going to be old tires versus 2 tires right now. James Thurston leading the field to the green flag out of turn 4. We are back underway. Early jump start from the 96, able to pull away just a little bit from Van Drummond, and Cole Denton giving Van Drummond a little bit of a bump entering the corner to get him going. But Thurston looking very in control of his car right now, as we have a big gaggle of cars in the back. I think I saw someone go around in the back, and the caution is out. I saw a car go around in the back. Don't know who that was, as Matthew Miles has a bunch of damage on the front end. We were just talking good about him. Let's see what exactly happened. Trying to find out what happened. Oh, okay. So this is a little bit of a convoluted wreck. So looking at Tyler Curley, he gets really loose in front of Trevor Huff. And Trevor Huff gives him a little bit of a nudge. Nowhere for him really to go. And we go back to Matthew Miles, who checks up for this whole thing, goes to the bottom to go around the slower Tyler Curley. And then Nicholas Martinez Jr. makes a 4 wide at full speed and wrecks himself and Matthew Miles. A pretty unnecessary caution caused by overzealous driving, if I do say so myself. I know it's 20 laps to go and you really don't want to lift, but all I'm saying is that if the 48 lifted, he wouldn't have a meatball. But Adam Contreras also with a meatball. Let's see what happened to him. He's getting really loose. Oh, okay. So he's battling with Polhemus. Polhemus gets into the 92. He's trying to save it. Gets into Andres Varas, and that's so unfortunate for both of them. As Andres Varas, just running his own race, just gets caught up in some actions. That's definitely a broken left front suspension on that number 92. As you can see how much that left front is banged in. But pace car lights are off right now. Adam Contreras with that broken left front zooming past the field. Looks like he just wants to try and finish this race. But it's going to be, once again, James Thurston leading Elliott Drummond. And Cole Denton, then Sam Brochu and Trevor Huff. Joseph Lewis has made his way up to 6th. So this will, if he can keep this up, this would be a great performance from him. But pace car is in pit road, and a little bit of an anticlimactic moment as cars are still cycling around the pace car. So we have one extra lap of cautions. But honestly, this is what James Thurston wants. He just wants a bunch of short. I mean, if maybe not for race quality, but to win the race, he just wants a bunch of short cautions, or a bunch of long cautions to come out like that. So he doesn't have to spend as much time fending off Van Drummond, especially if the restarts are going to be single file. So it's going to be tough for Van Drummond to make something happen. Especially if cautions come out, because that just reduces the window of time that he has to make a pass on James Thurston for the win. Pace car in pit lane again. And we are about to go green flag racing. 15 laps to go here. James Thurston leading the field. Gets a good start. Catches Drummond sleeping just a little bit. And is already out to a 2/10 of a second lead. Entering turns 1 and 2. As maybe 4 slightly worn tires is better than 2 uneven sides of tires. but mostly single file through the field. Trevor Huff all over the back end of Sam Brochu as Trevino goes around in the back. My timing board was having a lot of issues trying to find Zachary Trevino, but he goes around and he's parking that car. Already towed it to pit lane. So let's see what happened to him. So turn 2. Lots of net code between Tyler Curley and Zachary Trevino. Shouldn't have been contact, but that's where the servers thought that 77 car was going to be, and preemptively made contact with them. But it looks like Trevino just not happy with that and just decides to park it despite not hitting anything. But he probably figured that he can't lose too much since he's going to be starting in the back with 13 laps to go. Unfortunate for the driver of that 60 car. But like I said earlier, this is exactly what James Thurston wants to see. He wants to see these cautions come out to freeze the field and give the cars behind him less time to be able to fight. So give me 1 second. Okay, another quick bathroom break for the commentator. How long has the stream been going on? 1 hour and 43 minutes. But pace car lights are off, and are we going to be having a double file restart here? Looks like... yes. As Cole Denton is going to choose the inside line. Trevor Huff to the inside as well. There's Joseph Lewis. Just talked about him having a good day, and he has serious potential to be inside the top 5 by the end of this race. So it's going to be James Thurston with the oldest tires in the field right now on the outside versus a bunch of cars with 2 tires. Cole Dent, actually the only car between him. Yeah, the only cars between him and the first car on 4 tires, Trevor Huff, is Cole Denton and Van Drummond. All of these drivers definitely want to win this race. Pace car pulling into pit road as we are about to go green with 10 laps to go here at the Darlington Speedway. Green flag is out, and a great start for the outside line. Cole Denton did not get going at all. And now Drummond looks to go to the inside of Thurston. Moves him up the track a little bit. Now it's Thurston versus Drummond for the lead. Thurston has to back out of the gas a little bit. Or Drummond had to back out of the gas a little bit. But they're still side by side for the lead. 10 laps to go here at Darlington. Drummond flings it into the corner, but Thurston remains high up top. Brochu goes around. And I believe Thurston is going to be ahead by the time the caution came out. But that's a huge wreck for Sam Brochu. And he spent all that time getting back up to the front, and it's gone down the drain. I just saw him shoot up the track. And that was a big, big accident here. Let's see what happened. So in turns 3 and 4, you can see Thurston and Drummond battling for the first spot, and a little bit of netcode between Cole Denton and Sam Broach, who just sent Broach around in the worst spot. Jurgensmeyer nowhere to go. Huff gets a piece of it. Pohemus gets a little part of it. Joseph Lewis might have some damage from that. But definitely the person who got the worst of it was Jurgensmeyer and Sam Brochu. That's gotta be gut-wrenching for that 98 team, as he spent all that time getting through the field just for that to happen. And let's see the front end of that 28 car. Yeah, a little bit of left front damage, but considering the state of the rest of these cars, not too bad. Trevor Huff seems to have gone away with his contact, as no damage for him, and I can't tell if that's more damage on the front end of Denton than he already had, because he already had a sizable amount of damage to that right front. But will we be going green flag racing next time by, or is it 2 to green? Judging by the pace car lights, we are going green next time by. Cole Denton chooses the inside. Van Drummond staying on the outside with James Thurston. So Thurston seems like he just wants to block Van Drummond, and he'll just let Cole Denton hold up everyone else. Not saying that Cole Denton's slow or anything, but it seems like the two drivers really in contention for this win right now is James Thurston and Van Drummond. So 7 laps to go. We will be restarting with 6 laps to go here. Drivers pretty much on almost equal tires now that they've had so many laps on them, and it's going to be James Thurston leading the field to a 6 to go restart. In the restart zone, green flag is out. Good start for Thurston, but Cole Denton still on the inside of him. Thurston able to clear the 46, but 46 tries to shoot it down to the inside. Drummond hits the wall a little bit, and Drummond goes around sideways into the wall. Lots of contact made. Huff goes around. That's Pohemus around. And I would like to get a second look on that. I think Cole Denton accidentally pushed up into Van Drummond. But we know how heated Van Drummond gets. He's definitely not happy about that. And I'm sure Trevor Huff and Barrett Pohemus aren't happy about it either. So let's get a replay of that really quick. Okay. So we got the super slow-mo. So I believe this is turns 1 and 2. Drummond hits the wall. And Cole Denton's already coming up as Drummond's coming down. Drummond corrects the car. Then scrapes the wall a little bit again. And Denton came up, just barely taps the 2 car, and that, and this is still super slow motion. As let's just play it fully. You can see that Polhemus, Huff, and Drummond are pretty much all stuck together trying to free themselves, and everything goes to hell in a handbasket after that. But 4 laps to go, and James Thurston really has his biggest rival stuck behind a couple of cars right now. And I bet Van Drummond is not happy at all with the 46. Because he held his line in the 46, slid up the track, and just got into his quarter panel. Your top 5 right now is James Thurston, Cole Denton, Sean Rowe, Van Drummond, and Tyler Curley. And outside the top 5, it is Chris Downey, James Bomar, Gio Turpin, Barrett Polhemus, and Trevor Huff making up your top 10. We have 7 cars on the lead, or not on the lead lap. We have 17 cars in the field right now out of a total of 26. And we are having a double file restart here for a, looks like it's going to be a fake green-white checkered. I call it a fake green-white checkered because you'll be going green with 2 laps to go. So that allows you to have 1 green flag lap, 1 white flag lap, and then hopefully a run to the finish. So James Thurston needs to get a good start right here. There's no telling if Sean Rowe will send him or what Van Drummond might do to Cole Denton. So it is imperative that James Thurston gets a good restart right here. Coming to 2 to go. Pace car is in for all of the marbles here. We've been streaming for about 2 hours. 2 hours of work coming to this. Green flag is out. Thurston with a good start. Able to clear Denton. Denton side by side with Sean Rowe. Van Drummond right behind Cole Denton. Thurston able to clear Cole Denton. Sean Rowe racing with Cole Denton. They're both side by side for second place. Here comes Van Drummond to the inside of Cole Denton. James Thurston wants to see the white flag as soon as possible. Denton rides the wall a little bit, able to get around Van Drummond. Curley to Van Drummond's outside. Curley looking for a way to get into that podium position. Here comes Van Drummond to the inside of Cole Denton. Drummond has to check up a lot. Oh, he gets really loose. Van Drummond's in the wall as he hemorrhages positions. But it is going to be a James Thurston coming through turns 3 and 4. He is going to be unfazed by all of this as he pulls off the strategy call to win here at Darlington. For the Throwback 140, I believe this race was called. A great strategy call from James Thurston, and the cards fell just in his favor to secure victory. And that has to be heartbreaking for Van Drummond as he falls all the way back to 13th place. So let's get the results pulled up real quick for this. Winning is the number 96 of James Thurston. Then in second is the 46 of Cole Denton. Tyler J. Curley recovers from early troubles and comes home in third. Chris Downey, 1 spot out of the podium in fourth. Strong run for him. James Bomar finishes in fifth. A very strong run for both Matthew Miles and Gio Turpin, 6th and 7th respectively. Barrett Polhemus and Trevor Huff, after very strong races, come home with disappointing 8th and 9th. And Quincy Strawhacker comes back after all of that to a top 10 finish. First driver outside of the top 10 is number 99 of Sean Rowe, then followed by Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, who had essentially a train wreck of a race, coming home in 12th. Van Drummond led most of the laps tonight, seemed to be the car to beat, but it just did not go his way the last 20, 30 laps for him, finishing in 13th. Aldem Contreras with lots of damage comes home in 14th. Connor Zola ran in the back most of lose the race, but he gets 15th through attrition. The first car lapped down. He is 2 laps down. In 16th is the 33 of Max Ford. And behind him, the last car to finish, Joseph Lewis had promised near the end, but got involved in too many accidents that weren't his fault. Comes home 17th. First car not to finish is Sam Brochu in 18th, followed by Zachary Trevino, Nicholas Martinez Jr., Andres Veras, Austin Doran, Andretti Robinson, Jordan Herring, Dominic Barbagallo, Michael Deitch, and Noah W. Larson. So that concludes the results portion. So we are going to go on standby for a quick second so we can get people in the interview booth. Okay, now that we are back and have everything set up for interviews, let me just adjust the audio real quick. Okay, so coming home in first, it's the number 96 of James Thurston coming home in first after a very long race at Darlington. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, what a strategy call by you. I believe it was with like 35, 36 laps to go. You stayed out, and I saw that you only had 12 laps of tires. So what was the winning call from you?
Well, those tires, I never changed those tires. I still actually had a set left in the box. Those tires were the ones that I had on my car when I hit the wall from the lead. I went down there and fixed the car for 2 yellows, and I actually had stayed out thinking that I could stay out because there's like 30 laps to go, and I only had 1 set left. I didn't really want to use them up right there because I'd be screwed later in the race. But I realized everybody else was going to do the same thing and pit at the same time, and I was like, I'll just save a set here and see if it works out later. And we just had so many cautions, and I guess the tires were good enough that really they were on par with them, if not even better, in that clean air, that it really just never mattered that I had to take those last tires. They're still sitting in the box, clean and unused. Just super happy to get this done here, and we did it for Chris Buescher with the Chris Buescher throwback.
Well, you just took my second question away, so now I have to think of a second question. So what happened when you did hit the wall? Because you went from I saw you running the top, and then you hit the wall, and then you got really loose and just fell through the running order. So give me a play-by-play on what happened on that.
It's just basically a combination of poor. I don't even really want to say poor racecraft in this league. It's just kind of the way that this car makes you race. You can't get anything done once you're strung out. So everyone just tries to get everything they can on the restarts. And it was just a situation where I was the leader. It was the first time I'd been the leader the whole race. And when I went, they were already going. So they just kind of were able to stay right alongside me and right behind me. And going down into one, I just had all my air taken away. Because this car, just when you get someone like next to you and behind you in this car now, you don't have control over it. It's not in your control. You just got to try to not wreck it too bad, and that's all that really happened there. And then I got tied off of 2 because the thing just wouldn't turn there, and got a bunch of damage. But ultimately, I think that it was a setback, but it's what put me in the lead later. So I don't even really want to say that hurt my race that bad.
One could say it's a happy accident. So, with that happy accident bringing you this win, how are you feeling about the rest of the season? Since this is some pretty good momentum coming out of the All Star break, I don't have a firm grasp on the point standings right now. I don't know the gaps at this current moment. But do you think this is a start or a continuation of good momentum as the chase deadline looms?
Uh, I think I was already leading the points even after missing a race, so this I'm sure it's going to help that. But it's not going to matter. If I think this series is playoffs, so it doesn't matter. I'm not going to win the championship anyways. Just here to win races, basically.
Well, to win races, you did. Before we let you go and celebrate your victory, do you have any people or sponsors you want to thank?
Yeah, just thanks to Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsports. Thanks to Brian Murphy and Murphy Esports. Cardano Drip Drops. Just super happy to get this thing done here. I made this scheme in like an hour, so I tried to make it look as nice as I could. I just came up with it right at the last second to do a throwback to Chris Buescher's Pocono win. And yeah, I mean, it's a very basic scheme. That's why I chose it. And he's my favorite driver, so really cool to get this done here. And yeah, maybe we can go and win some more of these.
Well, I tell you what, sometimes when it comes to schemes, less is more, and that's certainly a fine-looking race car. That's James Thurston coming home in first place. We will see you next week.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we go back to the 46 of Cole Denton. Cole Denton in second place. A very rough and tumble race for you. Do you have a copy?
Hello.
So give us a pretty much a timeline of events of that entire race, because there were times where you were running in fifth, and then there were times where you were darn near wrecking the car, and then you finally come home in second. So what was the whole timeline of this race for you?
Well, I mean, I was able to get through the field after those first couple cautions in the first 25 laps, and it was like I remember it. It was 164. I just killed the wall because I was pushing it too much, and finally my tires were like, all right, it's time that we need new tires. So I killed the wall and gave myself wheel damage for the next 40 laps. I was just getting it repaired. And then when I finally got back up there, and me and Sam, I mean, they even rolled it netcode. I thought it was too. Sam really had it overcorrect. Man, I was like, no, Sam. And then next restart, I was trying to get in, and then Van hit the wall and slowed down a little bit, and I got a little tight, and then we got together, and he saved it, but then everybody piled into him. I was like, well, then didn't get a great start at the end, and we did get second, so, I mean, it was a really up and down race considering I was in back to the front like 2 or 3 times.
So that leads to my next question. Do you think there's anything that you could have done different to make you have your second SRL Snowman Studios Motorsports Design Cup Series win, or do you think that it was just a done deal and James Thurston was just faster?
I mean, I had the better tires, but I had gotten wheel damage again on one of those restarts, and I mean, we were pretty much equal, and he had clean air, so there was no way to keep up.
Well, short and sweet. Do you have any people or sponsors you want to thank before we let you ride this momentum into next week?
Just 77 Speed Shop on my real life legend car, and Matt Jones Motorsports.
Well, that's Cole Denton in the number 46 coming home in a second place. We will see you next week. Okay, and coming home in third is the 77 of Tyler Curley. Let me get him into the booth real quick. In third is the 77 of Tyler Curley. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I'm here. I got you.
So a very up and down race for you. Eventually came home third. Give us a brief Cliff Notes version of your race, because we saw you running up front, then all the way towards the back, getting involved in wrecks, and you somehow salvaged a third out of it. What happened during this race?
Yeah, that was unbelievable. That was I don't even know. It's a speechless kind of run, because like there's just so much to really talk about. But I mean, we qualified pretty good. I feel like we were pretty good on the long run with the pace we had. I don't think we had the pace to straight up go up there and beat him. I think we would have to gamble to get up there, but I wasn't willing to take that risk. I need points right now to kind of get further up in the playoff grid. So I made a stupid mistake earlier in the race, going full throttle out of 4 up over the seams, and it spun me out. And then at that point, I kind of just in my mind was like, all right, well, this is just gonna be a rebound race, right? So just kind of kept my foot to the floor, just kind of worked people over slowly but surely, mind my business. Got back to the front, had that amazing save out of turn 2 with Trevor right behind me. Thankfully, he let me save the car, and then at that point, the restarts just kind of added up. It got to a point of who could dodge the wrecks, right? And later in the race, I kind of got screwed over. I think there was one big wreck in the middle of 3 and 4, and I had to let like half those guys back by, but I ended up working out. I feel bad for kind of aero griefing Van there out of 2 on the last lap, but he kind of chomping down the front, so I was like, well, I'm just gonna ride up on him, right? And, hope that he makes a mistake, and I kind of air griefed him into a mistake, so I feel bad, but I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. It was a great comeback, though, so I'll definitely take the top 3 and move on to Sonoma next week.
So I haven't asked this question to anyone else because most of the time they weren't really around a lot of other cars, but you were racing cars pretty much the entire race. How big of an effect was the dirty air? Because I know iRacing updated this car and they made the dirty air a lot more prevalent than it was previously. So how much of a factor did that play?
It definitely made the car a lot tighter. It's really weird how this update works. It's like, to explain it, it's like if you're 4 tenths back from someone, your dirty air is not as bad as like you're 8 tenths back, and it seems like that should be the complete opposite, but that's just the way it is. So the whole goal of like what like when single file restarts, that just kind of killed the race, right? It's because like we can't do anything, like we're stuck 4 tenths back from each other. Like everyone was gapped by 4 to 6 tenths, we couldn't make a move. But for me, being in the back, I was able to learn how to manipulate the dirty air and kind of get around it. I figured out about halfway through the race that if you're side by side with someone on the bottom, you're just not gonna be able to make it stick. You have to be on the top to make a pass here, which is how Darlington's always been. But with the old update, you used to actually be able to go to the bottom like through 3 and 4 and have a shot on the exit. But yeah, it made it a lot harder to pass. But again, Darlington's just a hard track, right? It's just super hard to pass. So I'm pretty decent here. So I kind of learned how to do it, but it definitely made a challenge through the long runs to get some spots there.
And you're definitely right with Darlington being a hard track. There's a reason why I'm in the commentary booth and not on track. It's because I'm personally not good at this track. But with this 3rd place finish, this is certainly some good momentum. So we'll let you ride this momentum into next week at Sonoma. Do you have any people or sponsors you want to thank for this 3rd place finish here at Darlington?
Yeah, I mean, I got some people I like to thank. Everyone over at PBR, Contreras, Sean Rowe, all those guys. They help me out every week, learn to get better. I don't hang out with them all the time, but during the races, they definitely will, help me out, right? Give me certain like setup keys or lines to run or like how to work the throttle and stuff. I don't really have any sponsors. I'm not that popular of a guy, so if anyone wants to, that'd be much appreciated. I'm consistent. That's about it. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, he said it himself. That's the driver of the 77, Tyler Curley, coming home in 3rd place. We will see you next week at Sonoma.
All right, thank you.
All right, and I'm being told by league owner Alex Schumacher that I should also interview the 54 of Trevor Huff. So we'll have a little bit of a special interview with the driver of the 54. Trevor Huff coming home in 10th place. I was being told that I should interview you, so Alex's wish is my command. You had a pretty good start to this race. What happened at the end to make you fall down to 10th place?
Yeah, I mean, the recovery to 10th was probably as good as we could get it, but, it gets kind of frustrating over time when you go out there and you dominate the race. I mean, I led about half of that race along with Van. And then you come in and it's 2 tires with this car. It's always 2 tires. You can't do anything else. And I thought they were going to fix that. And nope. It's always 2 tires. And then you get stuck behind them. And then you got people who are going to slide up and take out the guys in front of you. So, I had a little chat with him. It went well. I got his number. But it's not like we're going to actually I race people the way they race me, so I don't really have any problems with him as long as he just doesn't try and do anything like that again. We got to create the hashtag drama because SRL needs it. Um, but yeah, overall, just you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and that was just kind of how the whole race went. But you know, all in all, I had fun. I got exposure for my sponsor, and that was the big thing. But as soon as that caution came out, I knew I wasn't winning that race because I knew that there was going to be someone who stays out or someone who took two, and it just kind of ruined everything. But oh well.
So, do you think that if you took 2 tires, you would have had the advantage on James Thurston?
I think I probably would have had the advantage. Yeah. I would have had to have gone in even with him a little bit more, obviously. And you saw how hard it was for like Van and them to get with him. So, but tonight the bottom was just rolling so amazing for me. Like there was just nothing. I every time that someone went to the top, if it was the leader, I'd always go to the bottom, and if I didn't have a car in front of them, I'd pass them going into three. You know, and everybody thought the top was going to work, and it really wasn't working. So, yeah, I mean, I had full confidence that I could have won that race. We had the pace, came out, built the car the way that we wanted to. Uh, watching Van in the dirty air, it was kind of rough for a while because the car wasn't reacting great in the dirty air. And then we just got out to that buffer, and then we just couldn't see him anymore. And that's just kind of how dirty air works in this car. Another one of the perks of this vehicle, but um, when we were able to clear in front of Thurston and get out in front and run laps, we were just pulling away, and I felt good on tires. And oh well, there's nothing you can do about it. This has been one of my favorite tracks for years. I mean, I've been in this league for almost 4 years now, and I've loved Darlington every time we come. And so, next time we come to Darlington, watch out. I'm gonna give it my all again. Still trying to win here. But then we go to my least favorite road course next week, so we'll say that.
So that's a good segue. What's your plans for Sonoma? Because normally, I interview podium drivers and I say you have good momentum entering the next race, but a tenth place finish isn't really what you're looking for, especially after running in the top three for pretty much the entire day. So what's your plan for Sonoma, especially now that you said that's one of your least favorite tracks? Is it just a survival race?
Well, as with the next gen car, it's a lot easier to actually, race and not get dumped for second place on a restart at a road course. So I think, all I can do is I could just practice, get myself up to the point where I feel confident with the car, and try and take it to Thurston, which I know is going to be hard because Thurston's really fast, Van's really fast as well. Um, and I haven't put much effort into the next gen on road courses because I'm like, oh well, I don't really have to. But we're gonna put I'm gonna try and put the same level of effort into Sonoma that I did on the road courses last year in pro. And then we're gonna go see if we can actually do something this time. I think my approach is just start as far up front as I can, get into a rhythm, hope we can win on the pit strategy, and go from there. See how the race changes over time.
So with that being said, do you have any people or sponsors you want to thank for making this 10th place finish possible?
Yeah, just big shout out to Dale Designs. He's awesome. He made the car for tonight. Elite Performance Industries, North Force Racing, great group of guys. Check out their stuff. The Sim Racing Expo coming up at Schaumburg, Illinois at the Convention Center, the 5th through the 7th of September. And if you guys want to go, they do have packages and deals so that you can also get a hotel in the Schaumburg Expo Center. So go check that out. Southwest Airlines, Coca-Cola, and that's pretty much it. No, Dutch Bros Coffee. Sorry, Dutch Bros Coffee. Gotta add that. That's pretty much all I gotta say.
Well, if I wasn't doing anything the first week of September, I would definitely be looking into that convention. But that being said, that is Trevor Huff coming home a pretty disappointing 10th place considering how good he was running earlier in this race. We will see you next week at Sonoma.
Thank you, Hez.
Okay, now that that is out of the way, I can hide this little graphic. I can set the camera to scenic, and I can conclude this broadcast. So thank you for tuning in to tonight's SRL Snowman Studios Motorsports Designs Cup Series event. My name is Garrett Hess. Big thank you to David at Fireball Talks NASCAR for giving me the opportunity to broadcast this event. Thank you to SKS Graphics for their help with the ticker. Big thank you to Andrew Schulte for their help with the ticker as well. Couldn't be possible without them. Want to thank all the lovely people at ASRC. Great league for clean racing there. And I want to thank you for watching. So hopefully everyone watching, have a great night, everybody, and have a good week ahead.